Man, you already know this. Jay Williams, let's live life, and we're back. Being big for nothing or being big for something. You're going to see guys in prison that are abnormally big, like just jacked all the way up. Like, y'all had RoboCop arrest him. This ain't no ordinary man. Prison is full of those guys. But I've also met some of those guys that, like I said, they're big for nothing. Big doesn't always mean that you're mean. I've met guys that were legitimately huge. I was in jail with a guy one time that got his food taken. And I thought to myself, he's about to tear the walls down. He's going to slaughter everybody in here. Somebody took his tray. He didn't do nothing about it. And dude started running their mouths to him, and he didn't do nothing about it. He went and sat on his bunk, missed his meal, ate when the next meal came around like nothing ever happened. I didn't see that coming. That's the big for nothing. Then you got some guys that are big, and they're dangerous. They're uncontrollable. Don't nobody want to try to put this man in his place. He does things that other men can't do because of his size. One of them dudes who can literally pick you up and pull you apart like a spider, that you run and just jump on his back and you're not doing nothing to him. He's too big. What happens when one of these dudes is out of control? And not only is he out of control, but he joins a gang. And the gang can't control him. He's breaking all the rules, all the politics, causing all the trouble. And they decide he's got to go. Watching the gang not know what to do with one of their own because he's way, way, way too big. Arguing about who's going to swing first. Man, you swing on him. I ain't swinging on him. We'll swing on him together. No, we won't. Once y'all get him on the ground, I'll kick him or something, or maybe I'll poke him, but I'm not running over there. He ain't about to okey-doke me, put me to sleep in front of everybody. Y'all got me messed up. Big Looney. Went from being a savage to being a savage in a gang. Stay tuned to find out what happens when you got a gang member you can't control. That pretty much, and I hate to say it like this, everybody in the gang is afraid to go at. But he's got to be dealt with. And as y'all know, this is prison. And you will be dealt with one way or another. With all that being said, you know how to see it. You know how to live it. So let's relive it. Before I ever knew who Looney was, I knew who Looney was. Just because of his name. If you heard somebody got their stuff taken, somebody went in somebody's cell, and they didn't steal it, they went in there and took it from them, 9 times out of 10 it was Looney. You'd see somebody walking around with that big hamburger eye. I'm talking that eye that needs immediate medical attention, like he might not ever see again. That's going to be black for the rest of his life. One of those type of eyes. Looney went up in the cell, took his stuff, wanted to show him shit was real. I guess show a message to everybody else that he ain't play pimping. And he cracked him one time, and that eye is the aftermath. He was not a man you wanted any problems with. Now, he wasn't doing life, but he was doing 20 plus years. That might as well be life. You come in at almost 30 years old, you got 20-some years to do, like, it's a long-ass time. But he carried it like he had life. But Looney's 6'6", 6'7", 325, 330, and we're not talking about 330 pounds of fat. We're talking about 330 pounds of, oh, shit, that's a big-ass man. Now, he's one of these dudes I would see on the yard. He lived in my building, but I would see him on the yard, or I'd see him in the chow hall, or I'd see him in the front of the building talking to other dudes. And I remember every time I saw him, I said, damn, I'm glad I don't live around that dude. I'm so glad he's not in my pod. Because it seems like he terrorizes wherever he goes. He's got guys that got 5, 6 bodies that ain't never going home that don't want no smoke with him. I've seen him stand out on the yard and call out gangs, and they don't want no smoke. And I'm glad Looney ain't in my pod. I hope he never... What is that? That's Looney coming through the door. They done wrote Looney's ass off the pod. And if you don't know what that means, to write somebody off, that's when guys start getting together and they do some little snitch shit and start writing slips and dropping them in the box. And administration starts getting them. And they get wind to what's going on. He's robbing. He's extorting. He did this. He did this. But nobody's going to come forward and say, yeah, he did that to me. So all administration can do is pick him up and move him to another pod. Pause. Starbucks. So they end up taking this young light-skinned dude, Tate, out of our pod. Tate's cool people. But Tate also gangbangs. You can be cool, gangbang, do all that. Just being in a gang don't mean you're a bad person. From what I've seen some bad, and I've seen some good. Tate wasn't one of those. They take him, move him upstairs, move Looney downstairs in the Tate cell. Now, prior to Looney coming downstairs, these dudes were talking plenty shit. Oh, that's messed up. Why they moving Tate? Who they about to put in Tate's cell? I know they ain't swapping. Nah, they got plenty to say about what they gonna do when this dude shows up. Looney walks through the door. He's got 2 other dudes with him dragging his property. The man's been down forever. So he's got like 6 trash bags full of shit, a cart. Like he's got everything you could have. And you got dudes right out the gate that want to get on his good side. Oh, they got Big Looney in here. Oh, they done moved Looney in the house. I done told you this is a big man and he's a problem. There's all this chitter chat about what dude's gonna do. He comes in, it's, oh, what's up, Big Looney? Why they move? And the bitches wrote me off the pod upstairs. I'm down here now, though. It's all good. It's not all good. If Debo and Damon had a baby, it would be Looney. And he ain't down here on nothing good. He's down here on the same bullshit. The only good thing I had to say as far as me and Looney went is we're both from Richmond. We're from the city. A lot of times, if you're not gang, you go click up according to your city. And Richmond at the time had the numbers. Didn't nobody want no smoke with Richmond. Most of the dudes on our squad, most of the dudes out of our city were in their own homicide cases. Most of them dudes had taken lives. Most of them would take a life again. Most of them were pushing that blade in prison. You didn't want no smoke with Richmond. And he's Richmond. I'm from Richmond. I kick it with Richmond dudes. He kicks it with Richmond dudes. So for the first week or so, everything with Looney is kind of calm. I guess he had hit a bunch of licks upstairs. He had robbed so many dudes upstairs, took so much commissary. I told you he came in with 6 bags full of stuff that he was pretty much filled up. So for that first week or so, he was good. He'd gamble. And the crazy thing about him is he would rob, but he would pay his gambling debts. He would go out there and legitimately lose money on the table, go get the commissary that he'd robbed from somebody else, and go pay his poker debt. Because once you don't pay a poker debt, you're not playing poker no more. Ain't nobody playing with you. Let me get on the game. Ain't nothing happening. Go ahead, put the cards up, take the sheet off the table, put all the chips up. We ain't playing no poker today. They're not going to play with you if you buck, especially if you're that big. Well, aside from there being a lot of Richmond cats in this pod, there's a whole lot of gang members in this pod. Well, the dude they end up putting Looney in the cell with, the dude that Tate was in the cell with, is an old man. He goes to dialysis. He's in and out, going back and forth to the hospital. So they might pop the door at 3 o'clock in the morning and get him ready for transport to get out before count. Or they might pop the door right after 5 o'clock count and get him ready for transport to go out for whatever. The old man has got to be on the bottom bunk. He couldn't get on the top bunk if he wanted to. That's not going to fly with Looney. Every cell Looney goes in, he doesn't care. He's going to move you. Get your ass on that top bunk. But I will give him this. When it came to the old man, when it came to, I guess we'll just say Pops, he didn't do that. And not only that, but the cell was just, Pop's cell was dirty as hell. Pops had been in that cell many, many years to the point there's dust bunnies back underneath the bed. There's little hairs floating around the cell. The cell is pretty much disgusting. Like you'd have to take a power washer in there, power wash it, bleach it, squeegee it, scrub it, Brillo pad, the whole 9 to get the cell clean. So rather than do all that, stay in the cell with this old man that's got dialysis, got all these issues, that's always sick, that can't go on the top bunk, that lives like a filthy animal, Looney just decides to move. Another cell comes open in there and they put him in that cell. They end up moving him into the cell with a blood dude. Now with Looney, there's 1 or 2 ways this is going to go. When he comes in the cell, you can go ahead and move your stuff to the top bunk. And I'm talking for everybody I had seen. Move your stuff to the top bunk, or he's going to come in and grab your mat and put it on the top bunk. And if you want to do something about it, you got a problem with it, he's going to handle it right then and there. It ain't going to be a whole lot of talk. He's just going to pick you up by your neck, choke you out, and throw you on the floor. If you're lucky. So he ends up going into the cell a little. And like everybody before, he moved his stuff up to the top bunk. Looney, you got it. He's in our pod maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before he robs the first dude, which happens to be an old white guy that's a Christian. But this guy's not just a regular Christian. This guy's a Mo. He's a diddler. He's messed with somebody's family member, touched on a child. Looney goes straight down there when we come from commissary, goes in the cell, slaps him, throws him over on the bunk, takes the commissary he was taking out the bag and putting in the locker, out the locker, back into the bag, grabs some other stuff off the counter, puts it in the bag, but not before telling the man, if you go to administration and tell them what I did, somebody here's going to get at you, or I'll run across you again in due time, and I'm going to hurt you real bad. Have a nice day. And he rolls out. In no way, shape, or form was Looney secretive when he come to doing this stuff. He wanted everybody to see it. He'd make the most noise. He wouldn't try to hide the bag. Walk right across the pod in front of everybody, toting this man's big-ass bag in one hand and a big-ass bag of sodas and coffee in the other. Just robbed somebody. He hit a lick. Takes it in the cell. Here's the thing with Looney. Looney got high, but nobody spoke about it. Like, we all know he did dope. We knew who he dealt with. Penitentiary talks, you know who's selling, you know who's indulging, you know all these things. Looney gets high, not just high, but big high. I'm talking about to the point he'd come in some days and he'd sit his big ass on the bleachers in the pod and he'd lean his head back and nod out and just be snoring like a grizzly bear. All 300 some pounds of him just sitting there. Dudes just walk by. But even with him getting hot every single day, he stayed big. He wasn't lacking nutrients. It wasn't like he wasn't eating. He would rob you, go buy dope with the stuff he just got from you, and then go rob somebody else so he'd have stuff to eat. At the time, I'm in the cell with a bad blood named Face. Face got 30-some years, man. Shout out to Face, man. I hope something happens in your case and you come home sooner. For cocaine distribution. 30-some years. He had that cartel plug. Facts. Did a video on it. Face is a good homeboy of mine. Face did the outlaw tattoo on my stomach. Like, this is my guy. I can't say it enough. Face was my guy. We're in the cell late night one night. Talking about, man, they talking about letting Looney become blood. Who's gonna let Looney become what? Looney don't need no gang, man. Why would y'all possibly let that man join a gang? The worst possible outcome is he's that big, he's that crazy, and now he's a gang member. That's not a good look, man. I don't say all that. I just listen. These are gang politics. I'm not a gang member. I listen, right? Yeah, they talking about Looney wants to be blood. I said, well, who is he going home with? Brim gang? Like, what's he going to do? Like, nah, he wants to be bound. Now, even though you got all these different sets, in prison, they all fall under blood. They do their own little thing, but if something pops off, they come to fuck together like Voltron, and it's a whole lot of them. Well, now that they've established Looney's gonna come, y'all got to run up on this man. Y'all got to go in the cell and jump him, fight him to initiate him into the gang. Now, I don't want to say they were scared. They were scared of Looney. I can't even sit here because I'm just trying to play nice for people watching that might be gang affiliated. I was going to say I don't want to say they were scared of him. They were 100% scared of Looney. Most men were. But rather than take him in the cell, get 3 guys in there and jump on him and then rumble him and him knock all of them out in the middle of the cell and embarrass him, they send him on a mission. If somebody in another building's got a whole bunch of dope they've been having issues with, go get that. It's as simple as that. Go get that. I hadn't heard of this before. Anybody else I'd ever seen join a gang went in that cell and caught that ass whooping. Get in the comments. I don't even know if this is legal. I don't know if you can just choose or how they gonna get in the gang. But I kid you not, they send this man on a mission. Hey, look, go over there. You will even break you off the pack. He ain't got to break him off shit. He'll go take the pack and keep it. But if he wants to be down, this is what he's got to do. His reason for getting down, I don't know. Maybe he needed friends. Maybe he liked the thought of being in a gang. I don't know. But he goes to the other building, runs up in out cell, robs out, beats the shit out of him, chokes him out, takes the dope, takes other things out the cell, leaves out that building. This is a building you're not even supposed to be in, and comes back over to our building. Down in there with them, broke this out, got his little bit. Boom, just like that, he's on. Anyways, me and Looney are cool. To this day, we're cool. It might not be cool after he sees this video, but we've always been cool. Looney don't pull my arms off. So Looney is more or less, he's an enforcer. Anything they want done, he's going to do. They were already the most dominant gang in the prison. They had more numbers than anybody else. They had a whole lot of killers on the payroll. They had dudes that were never going home. Youngins, 18, 19, 20 years old with natural life sentences with no possibility of parole. And they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Well, for the most part, people are going to do what they've always done. And that's Looney. He goes back to this robbing shit. First, he goes upstairs, robs 2 dudes upstairs, comes down, throws the shit in the cell. You would think that's enough. This is store day. It's not enough. He waits to the pod next door to them, goes to the store. And these officers let Looney come and go. At this point, the officers were very, how can I say this without somebody getting in their feelings? These were project chicks. You know what a project chick looks like? I'm not profiling nobody. The shit they said, the way they carried themselves, the personal points of their life they put out there, even to talking about where they lived. A lot of these guards at this prison were straight projects, straight out the projects, project chicks. Let people come and go as they wanted. At this point in time, you could just bounce from pod to pod on certain days, on certain shifts, and nobody's going to really say nothing. You go there, kick it with your homeboy till chow time. Slide out with chow, and when chow comes back, slide back in your pod. So when this commissary day hit, Looney robbed a whole bunch of different dudes. Not just random dudes. He robbed gang members. He robbed this black GD dude, beat the GD dude up, banged his fist all upside his head. That's a problem. Now these GD dudes go to these blood dudes. Hey, y'all need to get a hold of dude, man. You see what he did to such and such? Like, oh, this over $30 worth of commissary? Somebody's got to do something about Looney, man. But at the same time, the GDs are in no position to go to war with these Bloods. I've never seen them be in position to go to war with the Bloods. They may be in some places, not here. They don't have the numbers. So the GD dudes go to the blood dudes, tell dudes, man, y'all got to do something about this crazy son bitch. He done beat such and such his face off. Can't rob other gangs if you're in a gang. That voids the whole truce. And when dudes can't beat you, they'll tell on you. Listen to me. It's the same thing in the streets. If you're in somebody's way, they will tell on you to get you out the way. I hate snitches. Let's make that very clear. But I've seen so much of it in the system. So if y'all can't control Looney, you know what they're going to do? Somebody, and I'm not saying the GDs, somebody's going to start dropping them slips again. That's going to bring heat on y'all. Because now it's not just Big Looney. Now it's Big Blood Looney. So now he runs the risk of putting these bloods on investigation and jamming up everything they got. So who do you think they're going to have holler at him? His cellmate. That's who he's closest to. They send B at him. I guess from whatever they talked about, everything's supposed to be good. It ain't going to happen no more. Dudes had it coming. He was walking around acting tough. Whatever because he always had an excuse for why he robbed people. He was this, or he was, he owed somebody some money. He didn't want to pay them. So he always had an excuse on why he robbed people. But B hollers at him, and it seems like things are cool. Late night, Saturday, 11:15. We'd stay out till 12, 1 o'clock on the weekends most times, right? They're out there playing poker. Dude at the table says something to Looney. I don't know what he said, but from what the other dude said, it wasn't nothing crazy. Most people ain't saying nothing crazy to Looney. But Looney felt some type of way about it. Threw his cards on the table, went over to the dude's cell, started taking the dude's stuff. The dude come over there. What's going on? Dude's celly's in there asleep in the top rack. Dude goes over to cell. Look, man, it wasn't even like that. And Looney shoves him and he pushes him with the power. It looks like the Matrix. He pushes dude and dude just flew backwards across the room, next to the side of the table. Went on in there and took his stuff. A lot of these bloods are in bed at this point, but you still got a lot of them up. There's several standing around the table watching Looney play poker. Anytime one of them gang members is engaged into a poker game, he's going to have homeboys around just in case. Plus, they're kicking it. Ain't shit else to do. He shoves this dude. Boom! And this dude flies. I mean, legitimately looks like he had some of the special effects cables on his back and just flew backwards. Looney comes out with the bag, takes his stuff over to the cell, stands in the doorway, bigger than the door, and says, yeah, I did it. I ain't no thief. I take what I want. Run your slick ass mouth. If you got a problem with it, come get it back in blood. Come get it. He's making a big ass scene. Now these other blood dudes are standing around like, oh, this dude is like legitly dragging us into bullshit. Following day, they have a big ass meeting on the yard. Looney is a topic of discussion. More or less telling him, bro, you got to chill. Like, you can't be doing this. We really getting money in here. We sell this, we sell that, we send money home. We pay bills from in here. You messing up the program. Having the guards running up in our cells, shaking us down, or people saying the bloods are doing this, dropping kites on us, that's bad for business. If we got to do something, yeah, we're going to do it. If we rob, we got a reason for robbing. If we attack, we got a reason for attacking. You doing this stuff for no reason, bro, you making it hot. You got to chill. Once again, he agrees. All right. It don't take long. He's right back to his same shit. He's back to robbing dudes, slapping dudes up, taking shit from dudes. They make the mistake of telling this man, we gonna have to violate you. Who? We gonna have to violate you. We have to take you in the cell. We have to violate you and show you can't do these things. Who? Who's gonna take Looney in the cell and violate him? Let me get a raise of hands. Let me see the three dudes or however many dudes gonna go up in there and do something else. Y'all raise y'all's hands. Who's volunteering? Ain't nobody trying to violate him. But if the big homie says he's got to get violated, he's gonna get violated. Now these cells aren't very big to begin with. He's massive. So he's not a dude you want to go into a cell with. You don't want no wreck with that man in there. You want to be able to move around because if he reaches out and grabs your ass, it's lights out. So they agree they're gonna do this on the handball court. Now on the side of the building, it's like kind of it's L-shaped, right? And there's no camera there. And that's where we play handball. I used to love handball, by the way. Great way to stay in shape. They decided they're gonna violate him on the handball court. When I go out to the yard this day, when I am telling you, aside from the mandatory meetings where all the bloods would come, there were so many bloods out there, it didn't make no sense. And everybody knows what's about to take place. It's quiet. You can cut the tension with a knife. Dudes walk out, they might be laughing, joking, and instantly you feel it in the air. And you quiet down. You look around and see what's going on. The yard is different. Everything about it's different. The air tastes different. The sun hits different. It's just different today. And you look over at the blacktop, it's where the small half court is, and it's filled up with dudes. You look over in the corner and you see Looney standing there and you can't miss him. He's taller than everybody out there. He's bigger than everybody out there. And these dudes are all around him. Now, I don't know getting ready to rush him or nothing, but they got to wait for the guards to go back in, the perimeter vehicle to go by, because you want to get away with this. Back door shuts. Clang. The guard's gone. We stand there watching. They drive these white trucks around the outside of the prison 24 hours a day. It's called a perimeter vehicle. So that if your ass decides to climb the fence before you can get over the razor wire, that truck's going to come by. It's going to see you. They're going to radio to somebody, and then they're going to shoot you. The truck goes by. Looney's backed up in the corner with his shirt off. Got these dudes standing around him, like talking to each other, trying to figure out, I guess, who's going to go do what. And he said this shit and just took off on one of them. Tall, light-skinned dude standing there. Looney rocks him. Boom! Crumples him. Bag of laundry. Old potato chip bag. Boom! Falls to the ground. The other dudes look like they don't know what to do. He pops another dude. Boom! Drops him, crumbles him, potato chip bag, falls to the ground. He's trying to get up, get out the way. Looney punches him in the side of the face. Now, I'm expecting these dudes to rush him. Like, y'all deep as shit. There's no way he can beat all of you. Rush him. But them punches were solid. Them punches he just gave out were bad business. You don't want them. Are the type of punches that follow you for the rest of your life. The type of punch that if you see somebody else get punched, you get PTSD immediately because of what Looney did. These dudes around him, he just starts swinging. Boom, boom, boom. Swinging on anybody and everybody that's within arm's reach. And if he hits you, you're going down. They got a bigger black dude named D Black. Black is a bitch, D Black. There's more or less behind him and runs up and catches Looney on the side of the face. Boom, hits him. Softball hit. Home run out the park. Cracks off on Looney's ass. Don't faze him. He turns around, grabs D Black, rushes him back to the wall, starts working him over. Now these other bloods move in on him. Jump on him, and he would just sling him off, throw an elbow. Boom! And this isn't strategic fighting. This isn't like good footwork. This isn't, knowing how to fight. This is just big, angry, violent, and strong, and hits very hard. Dudes would run up and hit him, and then try to back up, right? Like they're trying to catch him when he's not looking, and this dude is holding his own. This ain't no regular, at this point, violation where it's like a certain amount of dudes on him. No, this dude just took off on random dudes that didn't have nothing to do with anything. So I guess in that moment, they decided, get on his ass, man. And dude is giving it to him. They're not doing nothing to him. 30, 45 seconds in, he ain't sustained no injury. But you got dudes leaking. There's blood on the pavement, blood on the wall, dudes on the ground, dudes trying to get up, dudes running around, these dudes trying to figure out what to do. More guys coming from over here, like, we're 45 seconds in. That don't sound like a long time. That's a fucking lifetime to be fighting that many people. That's a lifetime to be fighting in general if you're not a fighter. If you're not winded, if you ain't trained for that. 45 seconds is a long time to be throwing punches with everything you got. Now, I don't know who did it. Actually, I do know who did it, but I'm not going to say who did it. I don't know why they did it. I don't know if it was because he was completely out of control. I don't think they brought Looney out there to violate him, to be real, looking back on it. After this whole thing, I talked with my celly about it. He could only save us so much, but he said this. He said, wasn't no violation. They took him out there to put him off the set. So in the midst of him now, I'm talking, it's now 4 or 5 dudes on him, and he's rumbling these dudes, cracking them. One would drop, another would jump in his place. There's dudes stretched out. Somebody sticks him. Somebody stabs him in his lower back. He didn't yelp. He didn't scream. But in the midst of all that, dudes that hadn't been hit now got blood on them. As he's bumping and swinging around, his back is smearing on dudes. So dudes' white t-shirts now got smudge marks from his back. Boom, somebody sticks him again. And this time up in the armpit area. So now every time he would throw a punch, this shit was legitly shooting. I mean, we're not talking bubble. We're talking, this shit would shoot. He'd swing a punch and shit would shoot out his arm. Once he realizes he's been stabbed, that dude turned into something that I don't think anybody was ready for. He starts grabbing dudes and throwing them. I'm talking about swinging and throwing them, slamming dudes into the wall, punching dudes, completely turning their whole TVs off. We're probably 2 minutes into this, and this shit is still going on. There is blood everywhere. Some is his, some is the dudes he was fighting with. Like, he really put on out that bitch. Now, usually when something like this would happen, after the little time clock ran out or whatever, everybody would dap up. They go back to being normal. This wasn't that. Dudes going, all right, it's over with, it's over with, it's over with. He's still attacking people. Dudes have now scattered out. He's now attacking dudes on the ground. Boom, boom, stomping people on their heads. He's stabbed up and he's big angry. I can remember the thought I had. How are they going to stop this man? He's irate. Why in the f*** y'all stab him? That's like stabbing King Kong with a toothpick. Why would you do that? Well, in the midst of all this going on, when I'm telling you it is chaos, complete chaos has erupted on this corner of the yard between all these bloods. You got GD standing off to the side. I'm standing on the bleachers, on the top bleacher, watching everything. Probably maybe 50, 60 feet away. Standing on the bleachers is a good spot because you can see above everybody. I'm just watching everything with some other dudes I rock. What we hadn't picked up on is that perimeter vehicle that goes around. They come back around, noticed it, and stopped short. So when you turn back behind you, you wouldn't see no truck. If you looked over here, you wouldn't see no truck. It had just come around the bend just enough that the nose of the truck was sticking out, and he had gotten out with the binoculars. Had radioed to the officers. There's a massive fight taking place on the yard. These dudes are now running backwards trying to get away from Looney. D-Black, get up. Get up, get up. He ran over. Boom, crushed D-Black, lay D-Black back out. It now spills out of the corner to where it's moving towards the center of the yard. Next thing you know, them side doors come open. You hear the boots. These guards are coming, and there's so many of them, that's all you hear is the boots hitting the ground. You hear the keys jingling as they're running. You hear the static coming from the walkie-talkies, and it's a bunch of these dudes. So now these blood dudes see all these guards coming. They try to peel off in different directions. Two go this way, two this way. Don't walk with me, we're going to jail. Dudes start peeling off. Meanwhile, Looney is still spazzed out. He's still attacking dudes. He's chasing behind dudes. What's up there? Come on, come on. Next thing you know, it goes from him versus all these bloods to him versus all these guards. We've all laid down on the ground. They ain't playing. Once they let that thing off and they hit that siren, your ass better be on the ground. Or the next one that flies might hit you in the side of your head. Everybody's on the ground. He's still the only one. He's irate that they have stabbed him. They couldn't beat you, dog. What did you think they was going to do, Looney? So now the guards are trying to get him to cuff up. They done sprayed him. He's got that ugly-ass orange bear mace running down his front. They just sprayed him in his face. Just made him angrier. They're trying to get him, come in, cuff up. And he starts swinging on the guards. They don't play. They got shit we don't got. They got shit at the time. They can smack you in your head with that baton you swing out, crack you in the top of your head with, and your ass can go to sleep. Crack your whole entire skull. These guards get in on him. Boom, boom, boom. Start whooping his ass in front of everybody. He's once again handling his own. Swinging guards, punching guards, grabbing guards, slamming them. It didn't take long. They got him on the ground. They double cuffed him. Cuffed his ankles, picked him up, and they're leading him up off the yard. Meanwhile, we're all still laying in the dirt. And the whole time he's leaving, he's telling them, this shit ain't over. This shit ain't over. Any pod, any compound I touch down, when I see a blood, it's on sight. Y'all want to stick me? I'm going to kill everybody. It's on sight. And they took him up out of there. We laid in the dirt for a few more minutes. I watched the guards make their way around. At this point, they got a big-ass pack of zip ties they're using. I guess the guard at the truck is radioing, yeah, grab him. Yep, the other two that walk to the other end, they're down there by the volleyball, yeah, grab them. And they're zip tying dudes up and they're taking them up off there. When it's all said and done, Looney went to the hole. 15 bloods went to the hole. Looney left there and went straight to Red Onion, where the last time I heard, that's where he was currently housed. Red Onion is 23-1. It's not max, it's super max. It's where they send you to die. It's the closest thing to death you're going to find in prison. They put you in a cell and they bury you there for sometimes 10, 20, 30 years. If I had to guess, Looney ain't never coming up off this. Last bit I did, I heard he put somebody in a coma up Red Onion and picked up more time. So now he's not coming home for quite a while. But please remember this. Monsters are real. Looney was a monster. When people said they don't agree with people going to prison, he's one of the men that need to be in prison. As shitty as that's going to sound, there is no place in society for men like this. Unless we're like going to start a grizzly bear fighting league, like there's no place for men like this in society. Guys that just lash out, that are angry, that are full of rage, hate, and violence. But yeah, that was the story of Looney. How he took on a whole entire gang. And the last I heard, the war still rages on. But you know how people are. They say things when they're angry, especially if somebody stabbed you several times. You're going to say things. Stay out of prison, people. This is just a glimpse of some of the type of people that are in there. Imagine he walks through the door and he decides that from now on, your life is his life. Everything that's yours is his. Anything he wants to do to you, he's going to do it. When an entire gang can't stop him, and I'm talking the largest gang in Virginia, DOC, can't stop him, your chances of stopping him are slim to none. Well, my opinion on what somebody should have done, and you're probably going to say I'm wrong for this, but I'm just going to keep it real. When somebody's that big and they're out of control, they should have hit him in his neck. I think they tried to hit him in his heart when they hit him in his armpit. I think they were aiming for his heart or his lung, but they missed. They should have hit him in the neck. Both of those pokes should have, boom, boom, because these weren't ice picks. These were knives. I'm talking actual blades they hit him with that leave big openings. They should have hit him in his neck. Because I don't care how big you are. Once that knife goes through your neck and that blood really gets to moving, you're eventually going to run out of gas and collapse. Stories deter you from going to prison. It's nothing glamorous, people. Don't commit crimes. Don't do stupid things. Don't be out here living a life that's not worth living. Life is beautiful. As I sit here in my driveway, life is beautiful. And I can't believe I gave so much of it away for nothing. If you're thinking about picking that pistol up, put it down. If you're thinking about hitting the lick, turn around. Before you get in that car with them knuckleheads that are off to do something bad, remember these stories. Because the penitentiary is full of them dudes. Full of guys that were followers. Full of guys that weren't criminals, that went out one night. And that one night cost them many years, if not the rest of the years of their life. Stay free, people. Stay free. But anyways, these jails, these prisons, these facilities, they're all just crazier worlds inside of an already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. Just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching because y'all still watching me. Man, y'all know how we do. Salute.